So Christopher was the first ones to install dating apps out of all four of us. So I just want to ask, like, which app did you install first, and if you installed like Tinder or like gay specific apps, and what's your experience on those?
Okay, I remember when I went in Korea for the first time. We talking about we have like these quarantine days, right? So I remember I was on the Gisuksa on the on the university dormitory, sorry, and I was doing nothing, just waiting like the whole week for finish my quarantine, and I downloaded first Tinder, and I started talking with people there.
Was it easier to get dates? Was it easy to get dates on Tinder, or did you
Oh,
have some successful dating stories?
not on Tinder, most on the gays specific apps. But in Tinder, I remember when I do my profile, and some Korean men's they're typing me in Korean, and when I say something like, "Oh, I don't speak Korean, I can speak only English," they stopped talking to me.
Mm.
So yeah, it's kind of hard.
But I want to know like what your experience was like as a foreigner to try to get a date on a dating app with Korean guys.
Something that I noticed in the dating apps, it was a lot of people put on the profile on English, like the whole profile was written in Korean, right, in Hangul, but only one sentence in English, no foreigners.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it was like, by beach.
Thank you. Next.
Nets, yeah.
So for me, I also had that happen to me. Um, not with like being bisexual, not with mainly girls, because honestly, I couldn't find any Korean girls. It was just like foreigner girls, and but for guys, it was like, yeah, Korean guys. I would also get show the same profile, the same thing on a profile, no foreigner, or it's only FWB or like one or ONS, one night stand only. And I think for me, I didn't want that specifically for me. I actually wanted to like, just test it out to see and meet someone. And tell you the truth, it was my first time on dating apps. Like I never went on it in college, back in the States. So in Korea, it was like my first time using dating apps. And like dating apps like Tinder, they're only known for one thing in the States. And it's like just to literally have a one night stand or friends with benefits or whatever. At least with like in Korea, half of the profiles I've seen were the one night stands, but then the other profiles were like, oh, they actually like want to meet someone. But other than Tinder, like every dating app could be like that anywhere, especially in Korea.
Well, actually, me too. It was my first time using dating apps because at first I was very like skeptical about using dating apps because I know like a lot of people just want like one night stand, FWB. So I don't want that. I really want to be in a romantic relationship. That's why I don't use dating apps. But then, like everyone was using this dating apps. And then one night, me and Caroline, we were together eating fish and chips behind the door or beside the door, and then we just decided, okay, let's install dating apps together.
I know. We needed some moral support because just like you, Kathleen, I was also really skeptical about dating apps. I always thought it would only be for people looking for one night stand or friends with benefit or like sex partners. I don't know why I had those misconceptions, but I think that's because I was never familiar with the dating app.
Well,
But
I
then for me,
think
I did come to a conclusion at that point that it's so hard to meet gays without using the app. So I think I have kind of I had to come to a, what do you say? How do you say? 뭔가 I don't even know the Korean word for it.
Like a complete like stop or
아니 뭔가 the word I'm looking for is that 타협. 타협. Sorry, do you know what 타협 is?
I don't know, but maybe
I'm so
be
lost.
more
Okay,
open-minded.
Oh yeah. So at that point, I was trying to be more open-minded, but I also needed some moral support, which is why we did it together with Kathleen. So, okay, Kathleen.
Oh, me too. Me again, 정원.
Yo, Sean and I are slowly losing.
Well, yeah. So at that, wait. Well, yeah, so we decided to install the apps together, and the first apps we installed was Tinder, right? Tinder is the most used dating apps, I think, and I talked to a few guys, and also I installed another one called Bumble. And
Bumble.
Yeah,
I totally forgot.
Bumble. And I noticed that in Bumble we can find more foreigners, and a lot of people who are just like traveling to Korea, maybe here for a few weeks or a few months, and then they will go back. But on Tinder, there are more Koreans. And also because I speak Korean, I don't mind speaking in Korean. And I don't think I ever get rejected because they know I'm foreigner, because I write well in Hangul. Yeah. And also from the dating apps, actually I met my boyfriend now, and he's like the first guy I ever met on from dating apps. Like, I didn't expect it to be like this, but like the first time we met, it was just so nice. He's so nice, and like the next day we met a lot, like almost every day. And then I decided to date him after like 1, 2, 3, 4 meetings. So it was pretty fast. And we're still going on now. It's been more than 3 months. We just celebrated 100 days, so it's been nice. And now I don't have like bad thoughts anymore about dating apps. Like, you should really try it. You might find the one.
So I'll go with the. Well, I don't think I have like the worst story of dating that happened from the dating apps, because I didn't go on that much dates, honestly, and this is like 100% honest. I'm not just saying this because I'm in my girlfriend's room. I did had very little small amount of dates, but I do have like my first date story with my current girlfriend was not that easy. I remember like installing Tinder first with Kathleen, and then I realized that because I have to post my profile picture on the apps, I still wasn't sure if I could put my sexuality on the dating apps. So then I switched to like gay specific app, especially the lesbian specific one, but I was trying to go for the application that the foreigners would also use. So I was trying to find a foreign oriented dating apps. It was called like Zoe, not with a J, but with a Z. So it was mostly, there were surprisingly a lot of Koreans on there too, but my initial plan was to meet someone who could speak English. But then, not sometimes things don't go as planned. And I started talking with this girl on dating apps who was Korean, and then we set the date and the time. But the only thing that we have not planned yet was the location. And we were gonna set the exact location on the day of. So I waited until the day of the dating. I had to work in the morning before going on a date. So I was like working in the morning, and after my work was done, I texted her and I was like, okay, so where are we meeting? So we were trying to like figure out the place and the time. And then she was like, okay, so please send me the address of where we're gonna meet. So we're gonna meet at this pie place in Jamsil. So yeah, I was like, I was texting, I was typing in the address, and as soon as I press the send button, literally this message pops up and it's like, your account is blocked from the
The timing.
And I remember I thought someone came, but apparently it isn't anyone. Okay, so I panicked real bad, but then I just I thought maybe if she had gotten the location, then I should just go to the location that I sent and see if she's gonna come or not. So I went all the way to Jamshid, which takes like 2 hours to get to from my workplace, and then I waited in front of the pie place for like 2 hours, not knowing if she would come or not. So it was really bad, but she also has her side of story of what happened when my account was blocked and I suddenly disappeared from the chat room, and because we've set the time and the date and everything, and the conversation was going really well, and as soon as she asked about the location, I just disappears. But yeah, I was there in Jamshid, and while I was waiting in the pie place, do you want to make your voice appearance or no? 언니 목소리로라도 그날의 소감을.
울고 있었지.
She was crying in the room because she thought I had ditched her.
나는 차인 줄 알았지.
That's what she just said. 그래서 어땠나요 그날은?
그냥 준비를 다 했는데 연락이 없는 거야. 그래서 울면서 신혼 언니한테 하소연을 했어.
Okay, so what she just said is that she had gotten ready, she was all ready, and then she had to like dressed up and everything, and then I just kind of disappeared, right? So she was like crying on her bed, and then she called one of her friends and was saying how like, oh, my date just ditched me, my date is gone. Okay, so that's what happened, and then I was like frantically trying to contact the application, like the management service center, and I was like, I really have to get my account back because there's this person that I have to meet, and we've planned to meet today. And I have to know. I don't know if she had gotten the location or not. I don't know if she's gonna come or not. So I was like frantically trying to get my account back, but I my account was restored like after 2 or 3 days. But it was really funny because my girlfriend has a really common name, so it was really hard to like try to find her in any other SNS, like on Instagram or on Facebook, because a really common name, so equivalent of like, I don't know, like something like Jenny or Jessica if it was in US. So yeah, but when I went back home that day and I met my another lesbian friend, she was like, only you have to try harder if you really want to date. You have to do everything, you can't just give up. So I was like, yo, I'm not gonna fucking try to find another like 500 Jessicas, although her name is not Jessica's. But yeah, after 2 or 3 days I got my account back, and luckily she had not left the chat room just yet. Fortunately, thank God. So we were able to schedule our date again, and then after that everything went well. We had pies as planned, and we had another date as planned, and then we started dating after 2 weeks. Yay! But that was my yay. But that was my pathetic attempt to get my first girlfriend.
That is so dramatic.
It was traumatic. Yeah, it was traumatic. And it was the worst timing. If my account was blocked like before, like a few days prior to a dating to a date, then it would have been fine. But it was on a day off. It was like 2 hours before the time that we had set. So it was just the worst timing ever. But yeah, I would love to know about other people's dating stories as well.
My worst date in Korea.
Oh, yeah. For your
Okay,
worst sex. I don't mind.
Oh my god, this is so creepy. Okay, so back in time in February in winter, after we released from quarantine on the university, we went to Suwon and to Kerwin by the first time. You went there, Phektra? Because it was only the exchange students.
Suwon.
The first
No,
week.
I didn't.
No, before.
No, I didn't.
Before the.
I
the
only.
start?
Yeah, I only went. When did I go? I only went to like the Itaewon, Hongdae, like Gangnam. I didn't really go to Suwon because I didn't know what there was in Suwon, like club wise, and at that time I was hanging out with other exchange students before, like probably about a week. I was with different exchange students before I met you guys, and they didn't want to go like try clubbing and so on, and I just kind of felt like, oh well, no one really wants to go with me, so like I just kind of like gave up in a sense. But no, I didn't go. I only stuck around to the bars.
Okay,
That was it.
we went into Suwon because back in time again it was the curfew from coronavirus, so it was not worth it going all the way to Seoul only by 2 hours clubbing and go back again. So Suwon is pretty close to the university we study, so it was around like 20-30 minutes going there. So before that, on the quarantine, I download Grinder. Sorry, do you know Grinder? It's like a gay dating app, and I was talking with this person without any profile picture. So I went there with my friends Ale. I love you, Ale, and she's like really pretty, right? So we went together, and we started to dance, and a lot of boys approached her, and the boys were like I don't know, maybe they suppose I was like hitting on Ale, and they were trying to no, Ale's mine. So in one point I was only like alone in the middle of the dance floor, like doing nothing, just watching the whole people dance. And I remember I received this message from this Korean boy, and he texts me something like, "What are you doing now?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm Suwon. I own this club, but I'm not really dancing, and I feel so fucking awkward because I am alone." And he was like, "Oh, do you wanna meet me?" And I respond like in this moment, and he say like, "Yeah, I can see you on the subway station. Come." So I don't say anything. I don't say even goodbye. I only run off to the fucking club, walking to the subway station. So I remember I went. Okay, pausa. I was drinking a lot because winter in Korea is really, really, really cold. So I remember the whole people was like drinking because if you don't drink, you are going to have like cold. If you are drunk, you are going to forget about the cold, the what?
The what? The coldness.
The coolness. Thank you. Yeah. So I was like really, really drunk. And I went, I take off from the subway station, and I was like, oh, I arrived. And he was like waiting for me. So I wait like 3 minutes, and he came up. He showed up. And he was like, hi, blah, 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 blah. And I remember his first question was like, I didn't like you, right? And I was like, why? Why you ask me this? I don't even know you by 5 minutes. And he was like, yeah, I know, but all the people only look the parents, and I didn't like you, right? And I was like, no, like, take it easy, man. Relax yourself. And he was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to the convenience store for soju? And I was like, yeah, I was so fucking happy because it was my first dating in Korea. So I remember her English was perfect, like really, really perfect. And I remember it was around middle line, and we went to this park, and I was like drinking, and I was talking like, oh, and this, and yeah, Mexico, and Korea, and tacos, yeah, kimchi. And he was only like, look at me and hear everything. And in one point, without saying anything, this is my face, right? So he was like, look at me here, like talking. He said, and I say like, okay, it's only one kiss. It's okay. It's nothing like really, really bad. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm doing this, but you are so pretty and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, but relax. Okay, it's... And then he started to kiss me again. And we were sit in a bench, like next each other. So he take me like my shoulders, and he lay me down on the bench, and he started to put it up upside to me.
All over you, all over
Yeah,
you.
yeah, like this, and he started to trying to take off my pants in the bench, like 1 a.m. in Korea with this Korean boy over me, and he
And
was
it was your first date.
yeah, and I remember this really, really clear. Like I was like, no, no, don't do this, don't. Hashima. I was remember that word, like Hashima yourself. And I say in English, I'm going to scream. And he run. Like, así,
Yo,
yeah,
that's
really, really
pathetic,
fast.
man.
No, wait. So I was like, I sitting again. I was like, okay, Christopher, you are kind of wrong, but you are okay. We're going back to the university. And he come again, and he was like, oh, stand up. You're going to got freeze if you stay here. And he take off her coat.
The coat.
Yeah, and he like put it over me, and he was like holding me, and then he trying to do it again, like kiss me and touch me, and I say like no. So I remember I push him and I run to the university, really, really drunk. So yeah, and he treated me. He was like, oh, I know where you live, in which university, and I know you are Mexican, and I know your name. Be careful, and blah, blah, blah.
So he threatened you. He threatened you. He made a threat.
Yeah, I remember asking you, Caroline, on the CU,
Yeah.
like, help me.
What did you ask me?
Huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You asked me like this guy is like keeps stalking you and asking about your identity and
Yeah, so it was really dramatic. And the best one, okay.
you have the best one. Okay.
Yeah, the best one. So in Korea, if you are gay or you are going to travel to Korea and you are a gay person and you want to have dates, all the Koreans use this app called Jake D. So
Gay dick?
Jake D. No, not
Damn,
Dick Jake.
damn.
No.
Wait, what? Did I
Jake,
mishear?
like the name Jake D.
Oh, you mean jacked?
Jack
Oh,
D.
Jake D.
Jack.
Jack D.
Jack D.
Jack.
Yeah, Jack D.
Yeah, Jack D.
Jack D.
Got
Okay,
it,
well, it's not
got
like
it.
I'm gonna
Okay,
have
I'm
use
going
that
to
app, but,
spell
like, I was
and-
like, what?
It's like JACKED, right?
Oh, so like jacked. Oh, Jack
Oh,
D.
Jack
Jack D.
D.
Jack D. Okay.
Okay, so what
So
happened
that
with
is
the
the
Jack?
application. So I was like doing my daily life in Korea as a student, and I received this message, and he was like, "Oh, hi," and I was like, "Hi," and we started to talk, and he asked me in one point like, "Where you live?" And I said like, "In the Gisuksal of this university, right?" I don't want to say the name of the university.
Yeah, don't.
No,
yeah,
right?
You don't have
So he was like, "Oh, really? I like kind of teacher there, like I not like full teacher, but kind of like help to the teacher,
assistant.
assistant, something like that." Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, and where you are up to?" All the Korean, if they want to have like sex, they don't have like, "Oh, I want to have sex with you." I remember they are like using this word, "I want to have fun." They never use sex. So
Oh, wait. I have a quick question. So I'm always not blamed, but sometimes my girlfriend would say that the way I say those stuff are really passive aggressive. So I want to know if it's like a Korean thing. Wait, but she's Korean as well. So I don't know what I'm asking. But given that you've had the same experience with people being really passive aggressive with
with the sets and fun.
yeah.
Well,
so I just
sets
wanna know
could be
if it's like-
fun sometimes. I think depends on the person.
Yeah, but were they all very passive aggressive? Like every gay, like Korean gays that you met?
yeah, well, I don't feel in that way. I just feel they are I don't know. Like, to be honest, I don't know why they use fun for saying I want to have sex. But okay, so I was like, I'm ready to. I'm ready to. What is the Super Junior song? Ready to. Ready.
Oh,
Sexy.
Sexy free and single?
yeah,
Sexy, free, and single.
sexy,
Free
Yeah.
and single.
So I'm sexy, free, and single. Okay, let's do it.
I'm
So I say
ready to
like.
finger.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Eh, I remember we meet on the bus station, and I said like we're going to go where like to a motel, Odia, like, and he said like no in my car, and I was like oh I was thinking he was like having this big car, you know, but when he came, it was like the most little guy I ever see in my life. It was like a shoe, like. So I get into the car and I said like hi, and he was also having like a really good English, and I promise my English was better back in time. I'm kind of broke in this moment, so I was having this nice conversation, and he was like oh I'm sorry, I kind of nervous. He was like genuinely kind of shy. I can see that, and I was like okay. So we start to kiss, right? And one point, I don't know how, in this fucking little car, he was up to me, and I was on the copilot seat. So the car was like. And do you remember this Titanic scene when Rose and Jack having sex on this oldie car? And the windows was like
steamy.
yeah, the car was the same. I was like oh my god.
Oh my god.
But the good thing we were into this really really lonely parking, and it was kind of dark, so it was no people around. So sometimes we were like kissing, and no, it's nothing.
Yo, that's dramatic though.
Yeah,
Does it affect you,
it's like you need to.
psychologically?
You can focus. Yeah, because you need to have like be careful, and yeah. So that was my best history. Oh, can I say something? I don't know.
Yeah.
For you, Caitlin, or for you, Caroline, I think Koreans kiss with a lot of tongue. I don't know.
I think so. I think so.
Different in Indonesia for you?
It's kind of different. I feel like they kiss with a lot of tongue. Like, if it's like the deep kiss, they will do with a lot of tongue. But, yeah, true.
And for you, Caroline, have you ever kissed like a foreign person?
Nah. Nah.
Yeah, no. Gusto no.
No, like okay. Well, to be like 500% honest, I have, but I don't remember that much because I was really drunk. Like I don't have the vivid memory, and yeah, I think it's really relevant. Do you want me to ask a Korean person if it's relevant? 언니 질문이 있대요. 한국 사람들은 항상 혀를 많이 써서 키스를 하는지 모든 한국 사람들이 다 그런지 궁금하다고 합니다.
어떤 관계에서?
Like 연인 관계에서.
연인 관계에서?
에헤.
그렇지?
그러면 왜 그런가요?
그러니까 뭔가 한국에서는 다 그렇게 생각할 수 있는지 모르겠지만 입술만 부딪히면은 그냥 뽀뽀. 혀를 써야지만 무조건 키스라 생각해.
Oh, okay. So she actually gave a really, really, really informative explanation. So, like for Korean people, if they only do it with lips, it would be considered like a baby
Popo.
kiss. Like it's not a legit kiss. So it'll be only considered like a legit kiss if only you use tongues. 아, 감사합니다.
Interesting. 감사합니다. Oh, she don't hear, right?
감사하대. Yeah. 감사하대.
And I remember another thing. I think it was the first time some men doing this for me, but he was like, we're kissing, right? And he was like, open your mouth. And I was like, okay. And he would do it like, he spit
Wait,
me.
what? He gagged? Ew, that's disgusting. I don't want to say that's Korean thing.
No, I don't say that's Korean thing, but it was the first time for me and kind of enjoy it.
Wait, what? So wait. So he spat inside your mouth?
Yeah. So
So
like,
he was like, open your mouth, and then he spat inside.
yeah.
Well, I think that's not what normal Koreans do.
No, I know.
It's just
I know
his
that.
preference.
Yeah, like no.
Yeah.
Like for me, no.
But whatever the teacher are.
Wait, but I want to know. So in Western countries, or at least in Mexico and in US, you guys would only use lips. So what do you do? Like bite?
I think even if we use tongue, if we haven't like this deep kiss, we don't use that much the tongue. And I think Koreans are like, also with the nipples, a lot of boys they like to use the nipple, so kiss the nipple, lick the nipple, free the nipple.
Well, but with guys' body, I don't get it because you don't.
Yeah,
guys-
me too. Because
It
sometimes
doesn't connect with any kind of sexual like sensation, right?
sometimes they
that
try
part.
to do that to me, and I was like,
I'm not a woman, so like, what's the point?
yeah,
Yeah. No. So, after hearing all their stories, we come down to mine. And unfortunately for me with dating apps, I've never had a successful date to go on. And don't know the reason why. It's, to be honest, it's hurtful. Yeah, go.
you
Pause.
have it that day with your student. Don't
Don't feel
a
a
fucking
fucking
lie.
lie.
Well, but not from dating
I'm
apps.
talking about dating apps.
dating
not-
Oh,
not-
sorry,
He's not
sorry.
from dating app. I met him in person. Oh God. Okay.
Why are you
Wait,
being
wait,
so
all
mean,
right.
Christopher?
All right, so let's cut it. Ready? I'm gonna restart. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So from the stories of Kathleen and Caroline and Christopher, we've all had successful stories with them with dating apps, or at least halfway successful stories. But unfortunately for my experience, I did not have any successful dating stories from dating apps. Don't know why. It's just, it kind of hurt, to be honest. There was like almost like times, but unfortunately, yeah, I've never had any like successful like dating stories, like dates from dating apps. And it's just kind of hurtful. And I know that there are some viewers out there who may be watching our videos. I know how you feel. We all know how you feel. We've all been through it, and it's just very, very scary, and at the same time it's very like wrong. And the wrong thing about my experience is that we all have agreed, all four of us have agreed, we've had this discussion before, like, if you don't want to pursue the person, don't make the effort to pursue the person. Talk with them, man. You know, have a conversation flowing. Because what had happened to me was, it happened to me like probably 2 or 3 times. I would get a conversation flowing with someone on a dating app, and it would go along great, and we would set up the time, the location, and the date. And then probably when it gets to about like 2 or 3 hours before, I want to like reassure like myself and the person that I'm texting, like, oh hey, we're meeting up this, I just want to remind you, we're meeting up this today at this time at this location, right? And then for me, in my case, I don't get a response for like 10-20 minutes, and then all of a sudden when I refresh the conversation page, it's gone. So like I basically get ghosted, and it's just, to me, I just at that time feel very hurt. And honestly, there was this one point where I had the help of like mainly Christopher and like Kathleen and Caroline, and we were talking with this dude, and Christopher was helping me talk to him. And then Christopher saw, and then Kathleen and Caroline saw that he basically ghosted me after talking to me. And we were just like, what is going on right now? Like, why? Like, why just make the effort to talk to someone and then like all of a sudden ghost them? To me, it's not right, because like, what's the point? You're wasting my time and you're wasting your own time making that effort. And it's just annoying too. And because of that, please don't ever do this. But after that night, I went out drinking, and it was the 7-Eleven that we drank up until the morning. And that shouldn't have gotten me to a point where I was drinking so much. But it wasn't like bad drinking so much. It was just more like sad drinking. But yeah, it got me to the point where I was like drinking because I was sad of that. And I was finding like wrong within myself. But Christopher, Caroline, and Kathleen were there to like comfort me and show me that it wasn't on me. It was on that dude, because he like freaking ghosted me and wasted the effort, and it was on him because, you know, he just wasted time for himself too. So to our viewers, I just want to say, like, you've ever been in that situation that I have, like any of us have, with ghosting, just remember that, you know, sometimes maybe them ghosting you was a good idea, because maybe they wouldn't have been a good person to date with from the start, you know. But fortunately, I did have successful dates outside of the dating app. I got accepted into a small program at the university where I was able to teach English to Korean students. And no matter what the age range, the Korean university students, where you're like 2Ts, and I was their tutor in English, and it was random. So I had 3 girls, 2 boys. And one of the boys, he was, even though I was his tutor, he was older than me. He was probably like, I think he's probably like American age, international age. He was like, he's 24, 25. And I successfully ended up going on 2 dates with him. Just us 2. And it was successful. But right now we haven't like talked in a while. I've just been busy like over here where I'm currently am in the States. But I may be up to talking to him like again soon. I didn't ghost him. I would never ghost someone. I didn't ghost him. But yeah, we're gonna get up to talking pretty soon. We're just both kind of busy right as of this certain point right now. But yeah, so even though we had 3 people who have successfully gotten dates and gotten relationships out of dating apps, there are times when unfortunately dating apps may fail you. But so after my little advice with the dating apps, as I said earlier, also like, even though fortunately I did successfully date like outside of the dating apps, there was this one offer that I got within the dating app with a one night stand. But you know what, we'll save that little story for the next episode, because unfortunately we do have to end this episode right here at this point. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and we hope that you view our previous episodes and stick with us on our later episodes in the future. Please follow, like, subscribe, share, do all that social media stuff, you know.
Okay, so that's it for today, and see you in the next episode.
See you on episode 3.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.